Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mr. Richard here, and we with Miss Renee Bobb with two B's, if you had to search her. We're talking about grants and grant writings. We're talking about great different ways how anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur should be out here trying to get these types of grants, get these type of programs, applying for these different programs because the money's out there. You just got to look for it and know where to look and how to do it. And we're going to discuss some things that you guys should be doing, or some things that everybody can be doing to kind of get some of these funds allocated towards your businesses. So I mean, I know you're an author, and I know you wrote many of books. So like, talk to me about that process. And I know you said that it just blossomed into, like, I was, an entrepreneur, and then I, you know, started selling my book. And you can, I mean, you kind of talked about it a little bit, but just kind of give people a general idea of like how that came about.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I was doing all that speaking, teaching, and training, people would always say, "Where's your book?" And I didn't have one. So that was the motivation to create it, right? And so to date, I have 19 books that I've published. I'm actually a best-selling author. And I believe that everybody should think about writing, marketing, and publishing their own books for three specific reasons. Number one, it is a great source of revenue, especially if it's a digital book, right? Where you put your knowledge, your skills, and your experience into a book. That's number one. Number two, it establishes you as an expert once you publish the book, which means that the media begins to lean on you for your expertise because you are a published author. And the third most important reason why you all should think about publishing a book is because it helps you to be able to get more customers. So let me give you an example. There was a grant that was available to go into the Tennessee prison for women and teach women that are incarcerated about entrepreneurship, career development, financial literacy, and book publishing. All the things that I do as an entrepreneur, this opportunity presented itself. So the beautiful thing is I had the opportunity to go into the prison and do workshops with these individual inmates. Then they purchased a copy of my books for all of the inmates that were going through the training. And then I had the awesome opportunity to do some one-on-one with those inmates also that were making the transition out. So you see how I was able to get multiple different ways to get paid from that particular grant, as opposed to the one way of doing what I do as an entrepreneur. So that has to be one of the main reasons why you want to think about, writing and marketing and publishing your own books, because it's a great way for you to be able to increase the dollar amount of what you're actually getting for the grants that you're applying for. Let me give you another great example. So when I was living in Virginia, there were so many women that wanted to work with me, but unfortunately, they just could not afford my services at the time. So I got the wonderful idea that I'm going to find a strategic partner that has access to grant funding. And then that strategic partner and I will come together. I would actually work with the individual ladies. The ladies would come through their particular organization, and then that organization would pay me to do what I do best. So I want you to think about this. The organization has a need to reach the same demographics that I'm already servicing. The individual women, the participants, they wanted to get access to the training. And then me, I wanted to educate and empower, and I wanted to get paid. But the beautiful thing is, it was not only the training, the speaking, the coaching, but it was also they purchased a copy of my books in bulk, which also gave me another source of revenue besides doing that one-on-one coaching or that training and development. So that's why I say you should really think about writing, marketing, and publishing a book. And then the next level is I have some clients where we are licensing their systems and their processes, Mr. Richard, where like all the amazing work that they do, all the amazing work that they do, how awesome would it be to put it into a train the trainer program where now you have the opportunity to get those bigger grants because the president of Biden and the Harris administration has a huge grant For those of you that want to do some sort of apprenticeship program where you want to teach people and train people in your area of expertise. So you can tap into those grants, but we're not going to just get the grants for the training. We'll also want to get the grants for the training materials, which is that book, that digital book, that workbook that comes with all the amazing work that you do, Mr. Richard.
Yeah. Hey, in all honesty, if someone gave me a grant to teach somebody something and then they wanted to pay me also to get a grant to write a book, I would probably write it in 2 days. It probably wouldn't be any good, but I would do it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, and I know a lot of people that want to get into writing books. I know a lot of people who teach people how to write books. But just think about that. There's grant opportunities probably in that too, just to like teach maybe children how to write books, teach adults how to write books, or and then your book is your accreditation. Now you're a published author. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. I was thinking about writing a book from the perspective of I can just sell the book. But now it's just more of an accomplishment, and it gives you more of a, hey, look at me, right? Hey, I wrote a book. So even if I just did it, I didn't even have to sell any. I sold one copy, and it was to like my mom, but it don't make a difference. But yeah, I
Gives you so
mean,
much credibility. It gives you so much credibility in the marketplace. And I want to quickly share just another example. So there was a local college that received some grant funding to be able to teach their student population about how to get out of student loan debt. So remember, I have an amazing training program. I have a book that I wrote about financial literacy based off of my background of going from being very wealthy to struggling financially to going back to being very wealthy, right? And so I put all those experiences inside the book along with the step-by-step process. So there's a lot of people that are competing for this particular opportunity, but because I had the book, just like what you said, it just added a whole nother level of credibility to me, and it made me stand out from everybody else, because you have got to find your unique value proposition in everything that you do as an entrepreneur. Oprah has this wonderful quote where she says, "Don't worry about being successful, but work towards being significant, and success will naturally follow." So my question to you all is, what do you do that's so significant in the marketplace where you are able to win some grant funding? You have to identify your unique value proposition. What separates you from everybody else?
oh man, I couldn't have said it any better, man. That's pretty awesome. But I mean, we could probably sit here and talk all night. I don't want to hold you up too much, but hey, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about different grants and different programs, and your successes, and where you come from, even hanging with Wu-Tang. Did you ever meet any of those guys? Just out of curiosity.
Oh my, the family is very connected, right? And
Yeah.
so when I acquired the basketball team, I of course didn't want to use any of my money. So I did a crowdfunding campaign on a platform called I Fund Women. My goal was to raise 10,000. We raised over 360% of our goal. And it also came with some grant funding as well. But I wanted to do a fundraiser to raise additional capital. So I said, I need to get some celebrities to come to my fundraiser. Who can I get? I'm gonna get the Wu-Tang. So I reached out to their manager, and Ghostface made the commitment to come to my event. So he was like, "Renee, we love you, but we only gonna do one song." He came to the event, he did like 10 songs, he did autographs. It was amazing. It was so amazing. So yeah, that's how connected we are. So absolutely, absolutely. So now if I want them to come back and do a fundraiser, they're like, "Okay, Renee, it's gonna cost you about 100 G's."
Yeah. That person was cool and we was in a good
Right,
mood.
right,
Yeah, we was in a good
right.
mood. Never again. But I guess
Never
sometimes,
again.
if you were there and you just, you're feeling it, sometimes, just it is what it is. But I want
Yeah,
to thank you for
absolutely.
being a guest. How can people reach out to you, and like what type of services do you provide, and how people how can they find you and stuff like that?
So several ways. They can go to my website, which is Renee Bobb Training. That's the first place you want to go to. Then they also can go to my stand.store/Renee Bobb Training. And that's where you'll find a lot of the grant funding resources and tools. I do have like the grant funding list. We do offer training where we will actually work with you one-on-one and teach you how to apply for grant funding, teach you how to build your AI bot to actually help you write grants. And then we will write some grants together. That's option number one. Then option number two is I have a great staff of grant writers. So if you don't have the time to write your own grant, we actually can write the grants for you. But we would like to meet with you, make sure that we're able to find opportunities that fit what you're actually looking for. And again, we look for those 10,000s, those, $1 million grants as well to kind of fit what your vision is. And so again, ReneeBobbTraining.com, or you can also go to my Stand store as well.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, well, I can sit it. I don't want to hold you up too long, but
Richard, can I put the link in there for a couple of grants for them to check out?
oh yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first grant that I'm going to put in the chat is the $3,000 Out of Excuses grant, and the deadline for that is coming up September the 15th. And then the other grant that I want you to think about applying for is the Nipsey Hussle Business Grant for Entrepreneurs, up to $100,000. It is a pitch competition for remarkable entrepreneurs. And so the goal is that they want to help charter the course of unwavering purpose and commitment to excellence. $100,000 will be awarded to an outstanding entrepreneur and is sponsored by Microsoft, Neighborhood NIP Foundation, and Earn Your Leisure. And that's coming up on August the 10th. So you have plenty of time to get access to this $100,000 opportunity. So let me go ahead and put this in the chat as well, so you guys can actually check that out. Let me do that real quick. And then I do have a third grant for my creators. And so the Champion Creator has a grant, which is $50,000. And so the goal is it's due on Wednesday, July 17th. And I'll put the link in there for you to apply for that opportunity as well. So I just gave you just now over $150,000 in grant funding opportunity. So two main things. Somebody has to win grants. Why not you? Why not you? So somebody has to win this opportunity. Why not you? And then the other thing I want to share with you is that in order to win it, you have to be in it. In order to win it, you have to be in it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the main thing. And let me get you these other two grants I'm going to put in there. So did anybody have any questions real quick? Do you want to do questions or not really?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna get you off this. We're gonna come back to the question. So if you're watching, we got the information. We got the sauce. We giving it out to anybody and everybody who wants it, but you got to take the first step. You got to reach out to people, reach out to myself, reach out to Miss Renee, and we'll give you the information, right? We're talking about this stuff all the time. I host a mentorship where I teach this stuff every week, right? This is the type of stuff we talk about, and we give you access to these kind of funds. If there's something you're interested in, click the link up in the bio or follow me at the Rich Get Richard. I'm on all social media platforms. And yeah, now we're gonna get over here and get the more grant funding, and I'm trying to see what's going on with these lists, because I need that money too. Hope you found value in this. Thank you for liking. Thank you for following. Later.